And Erica joins me now. This is very exciting to meet you. You do know that.
It's very exciting to meet you too.
Well, look, we have to talk about this new book, The Mister. It's out today.
It is.
Firstly, is it quite exciting to talk about another character? Because 50 Shades, of course, has been a part of your life, been a part of all of our lives for so many years now. This is just something a bit different.
It's a bit different, yes, and it's nice to you know, let yourself go into another story and fall in love with two new characters. I mean, that's what it felt like for me writing it. With 50, they've been with me for a long, long time, so it's nice to get a break. And they're in a good place, which is good. And these people have been talking to me in my head for a long time, so I'm glad they're finally on the page.
Yeah, of course. And well, you have described it as a sort of modern-day Cinderella type story.
Yes.
And I'm very conscious of not wanting to give anything away, but we can say there's a gentleman.
There is.
He's a bit of a character.
He is.
A very wealthy, aristocratic type chap, but slightly lost.
I think so. I think it's an interesting thing because he's, you know, incredibly privileged and hasn't had to really hold down a job. He's tried lots of different things, and we see that within the book. And then he meets this young woman who we know very little about. And I like the fact that we know very little about her. And her, Alessia's story unrolls throughout the book and unravels, and as her past catches up with her.
Is your process of writing the same, or has it changed over the years?
It's still the same. It's still the same. I have several couples bickering away in my head, and occasionally I'll see something and an idea will come to me, and I'll write it down. I put it in an email, send it to myself, and I'll work away. But it's the noodling time for the story, so that's the fun bit where you can daydream and go off and think, well, what would happen if this happened, and then, you know, and out of that a book comes.
Well, I mean, I was just reading this yesterday, as it said, The Mister. It's a roller coaster ride of danger and desire that leaves the reader breathless to the very last page. And we have grown to expect that from you, Erica. And that's a very nice way of trying to get at what I'm getting at.
Oh, yes, there's a little bit of that. There's more than a little bit of
erotica, and it starts quite quickly, and as in page 1, in fact. So I have to ask about that, though, because, I mean, firstly, you've got 2 grown-up sons, which I think must be quite a strange thing for them to have to deal with. Or is it something that they just go, let's just not talk about it? We're very proud of you, Mum, but let's just not talk about the fine detail.
They are extraordinarily proud of me, and they're so supportive and kind, but really they are getting on with their own lives, so they're not particularly interested in what their mum is up to, as it was appropriate for young men. They're busy doing their own thing, which is great.
Absolutely. But how do you feel about writing it still? I mean, I've read many interviews with you before where you've sort of said you almost felt embarrassed writing the words.
Well, it's not that. I write for myself. Primarily, this is a story I'd like to read. 50 was a story I wanted to read, and I love sharing it with women. I can talk about it with women all the time. I get a little embarrassed about men reading it, and I've had various emails from men, and I just think, oh my God. I remember one particular one was a 71-year-old man wrote to me and said, "Thank you very much for reminding me what it's like to fall in love again," which is really sweet. And I hope that hopefully he'll be reading this as well and remembering that too.
Yeah, but your husband does proofread everything.
He does, yes.
He is the one person that...
Yes, no, he reads everything that I do, and I really appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, he's actually the writer in the family. He's been writing for years, lots of television drama.
And talking about 50 Shades, it isn't obviously completely finished. We've got another book to come out.
Well, I will see.
Sort of. That's what the fans are wanting to hear.
I know,
let's put it that way.
I think it's. I have to get myself. My muse needs to fire up and say, right, we're going back here, and where will we go with this? So we're going to wait and see.
An incredible time for you. You must have had moments when you're in Hollywood with a movie in front of you. Oprah Winfrey is claiming to be one of your biggest fans. For me, it doesn't get much bigger than that.
No, it doesn't. She's a goddess, yes. So it's lots of pinch me moments. I'm thinking, is this me? Is this my life? So Hollywood's an interesting place to be. I've fortunately got lots and lots of friends there, so I enjoy going back and seeing all of them. But it's an odd place.
It's not somewhere you'd necessarily base yourself, I guess.
I don't know. The weather's fantastic.